Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. This is Kendra. Okay, let's try this again. In this video, we're going to be talking about this. So this is the 2019 Lion King that was promoted as a live action. It's just really fancy animation. It's really good fancy animation. I mean, no doubt about it. The animators are fantastic. If you are looking for a documentary film on Africa with realistic animals and amazing detail, this is great. The animators and the animation on this was fantastic. Hands down, it was fantastic, and I'm not the first person to say this. The problem is, The Lion King is an animated film where the wild animals are our main characters, which means they have to be able to express human emotion in their faces because, again, they're targeted at humans, particularly small humans. But as all humans, big or small, we are one sight-oriented creatures, and two, we are biologically designed to find faces and look for emotion and movement in faces. Animals do not do this, but again, animals are not the target audience of this film. Humans are. And that is one of the major problems with this. The animation is fabulous if you are looking for realistic images of the African safari. It is extremely realistic. It's not good at displaying emotion on faces of the characters. The characterization sucks in this. So if you are unfamiliar with what this story is, no. It has nothing to do with Hamlet, no matter what you think. And no matter what they say, it doesn't make any sense. I don't rant blindly about this, because it even says so on the Wikipedia page. Hamlet, Shakespeare's Hamlet, is a story about an adult man who is summoned home from college after his father's untimely death to find his mother married to his uncle. His father appears as a ghost to tell him that he was murdered. Hamlet pretends to be crazy to try to find information because he thinks his uncle killed his father, which he probably did. Various other things happened, and everybody ends up dead. That's not what happens in this. For one thing, even if you humanize this, Simba's probably about 10. Not an adult. He's convinced by his uncle, who actually murders his father, to run away. He grows up somewhere else, is convinced by his father's advisor and his old girlfriend to come home and murder and basically do a fight to the death with his uncle, which he wins, and then comes back and then basically takes over his own kingdom. This is a hero's tale. Very simple. Hero's tale. Nothing to do with Hamlet. I do not care if the father dies. I do not care if the uncle kills the father. Not an unusual and common fairy tales for uncles to kill fathers and children to be banished and then to come back and win the day and banish uncles. Extremely common fairy tale trope. It's a hero's tale. Simple as that. And that is what The Lion King is. They don't have emotions in this. They could have found a better way. Do I blame the animators for that? No. The animators did what they were told. If the director and Disney executives who were paying attention, the producers, told them to try to make these lions and hyenas and the meerkat and the warthog have emotion in their faces, they would have found a way to do it. But they didn't. They tried to show it with their body language, which doesn't come off right. And it's just, it's off. A couple other things that I found off. As much as Daniel, yes, it is Daniel, Glover, or Donald Glover, and Beyoncé are fantabulous singers on their own, they did not harmonize at all when they were singing together in this. It's one thing. And You Feel the Love Tonight is one of my favorite songs. And Simba and Nala only have minor speaking parts in that song. Otherwise, it's somebody else singing, not them singing. So they didn't actually need to make them harmonize, which they can't, at least not with each other, at least not in this film. I don't know whether they were in separate rooms. They filmed at separate times. They were not filming together. They did not harmonize at. It literally sounded like they were each singing the song and their parts completely independent of one another, and it does not work. It does not work at all. Again, both of them are fabulous singers, and maybe they could have harmonized, but I do not know what happened because they didn't. It does not work. It does not sound well. On top of that, this is one of my other questions when it comes to this. Now, technically, this brings back to the original, but this one's trying to make everything realistic, so it makes more sense to bug on it here. Hyenas are a matriarchal society. Males are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to hyenas, and yet two of the major speaking parts for hyenas are male in this. They could, if they were changing the names, they could have made them female, because the females are in control here. That is just how hyena society works. They just, the males, except for when they're babies, yeah, they're on the bottom of the totem pole. They get to feed last. That's just the way it is. Scar is, I don't like his animation in this. I just don't. He's always in the dark. He's not clear. I mean, I get the stylistic choice, but he's also mangy. He can be dark without looking like he's battle scarred like crazy. Yes, he's supposed to have a scar on his face, but he looks half dead, and he just looks mangy in this, and I do not like it. I do not like it at all. So and of course, if you're going again with realistic lines, why two male lions who are brothers can in fact run a pride together. They do not have to be separate. They are known to do stuff together. Brothers are known to roam around as one, in pairs, and they could run a pride together. Again, that's not this story, but still, again, the whole hyper realistic stuff makes you want them to react more realistically. My other big issue with this is they take out the not so subtle point of the story. So there is a big scene, if you're familiar with the original Lion King, where Rafiki, who's our baboon, or he's a mandrill, comes and has a conversation with Simba. In this, they show him looking into the pond, seeing his father. His father lives in him. He actually has a weird conversation with his father in the sky. But then then Simba just decides I'm going to go grow up and go back home. Why in the original film there's a whole Rafiki whacks him in the head with his stick, and basically the lines that are uttered, yes, the past can hurt, but you either run from it or learn from it, which is literally the entire point of the film. Simba has to learn from his mistakes and face his uncle. They also have a weird conversation where Nala is trying to explain to Simba or not to Simba, but to Pumbaa and Timon where Simba is, and that they have to follow him and help. So she has a whole big conversation with him, which again is new, and possibly not necessary in this. Oh yeah, Timon and Pumbaa are not done well. The actor who plays Pumbaa can't sing. That's a problem, because they're supposed to sing. And yes, in the original animation, they can in fact sing. And there's not the camaraderie that you see in the original film, because you wouldn't find it. In the original film, the adults, Simba is voiced by Matthew Broderick. Then you have Nathan Lane, and I can't remember the name of the third one. They are all Broadway actors. They have worked together before. So they can, in fact, when singing, they can harmonize together. And they know how to play off each other because they've done it before. And I think Nathan Lane and the other actor who was voicing Pumbaa, Nathan Lane voices Timon, had just come off Guys and Dolls together. So they had been working together. They know how to work together. And then, of course, they've worked with Matthew Broderick because, again, these guys are known for singing and acting on Broadway, and they've done it together. So there's a camaraderie fight there that you're not finding in this. And it's solely lacking. It's just one of the things that pulls the magic out of this. So this film is not bad. As homeschoolers, if you were looking for something to show you fantastic animation and realistic and what can be done with the fantastic animation, this is great. If you want to compare it to the first one, it's a good way to show what can be serious, how you can literally almost make the exact same movie with better animation and suck the life out of it and suck the fun out of it. This is much, much darker. Not only, and I'm not talking just in tone, but literally in lighting. It's much, much darker, particularly the stuff with Scar. There's a way they do it in the cartoon, particularly with Jeremy Irons, where, again, he's a completely different character. He has more charisma. The Scar in this does not. And of course, apparently it's very intentional. But, and that's the other thing, the actors don't have charisma in this. At least that you can see. Again, it always goes back to the fact that these are characters that you are meant as an audience to relate to, and as humans, we relate to this, the face. And because they do not have facial expression, which they wouldn't in the wild, but again, this is animation and is meant to be seen by humans, and these characters are meant to be relatable to humans. Because again, lions don't care about watching films. So them using the body language isn't necessarily going to come off well for humans who are very much designed to look for emotion and reaction in the face. That's what we are designed to do. That is the reason humans have so many muscles and nerves in our face, because most of our communication is in our face. That is how we communicate. We communicate a lot with body language, but a lot of it's right here. So, again, the realistic animation is fantastic. It's phenomenal. The animators did marvelous jobs, and I do not blame the voice cast for this either. This is solely on the directors and the producers and Disney Corporation. They are the one who messed this up. The actors could have been given better. There could have been better actors. I'm sure there's better African American actors who could have been used besides, Beyoncé. I know she can sing, but I'm sure there's dozens of African American women who can sing, who might have done better than Beyoncé in this. Her and Donald Glover should have been in the same room and been able to harmonize, because I'm sure they probably could, but somehow that got messed up because they sounded so off together it threw you out. And this could have been done a lot better. It's not a bad film, but it's not a good film either. Watch the animation. The animation is better. So that is my review of the fancy animation, or the realistic animated 2019 Lion King. You can check out my review of the animation. I'm also going to be doing, back tonight, the Lion King 1.5 and the Lion King 2, which no, is not based off Romeo and Juliet. We'll get into that. I still have to watch that one, but I will be reviewing Lion King 1.5 shortly. So, if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out my back catalog. We are doing this. I am filming this. It is 2025. It is the January 2nd of 2025. So you guys will be seeing this sometime next month. But we are doing The Lion King in February, along with African American fairy tales, most of which I believe are done. And then we'll be moving on to Irish fairy tales, and then The Little Mermaid. And then I think Asian. We're covering all the Disney princesses this year. I'm not covering Tiana because I already did. So you can check out that video. It's not a positive one either. Disney's not good at that. We will see how it goes along. So, like and subscribe, leave a positive comment if you have one, and join me through 2025 and princesses. Thank you.